Behind me right here is the Enderman farm I'm going to show you guys how to make. And as you can see, guys, I am level 100. And it didn't even take that long. This thing is insane. You can see how many Endermen are dropping down here. It's also quite simple to make. So we're going to jump straight into this tutorial. And I think you guys are going to really like it. And just to show you how quickly you get XP, bearing in mind I'm at level 100, it's pretty hard to get. If we come in here right now, we start hitting a few of these guys and getting that XP, you can see how my XP is still jumping up reasonably quickly. So this thing really works great, and I can't wait to show you guys. I just wanted to quickly say thank you to the 100 people who are now part of Tortuga. That is absolutely amazing. If you guys want to join the server, there'll be a link down in the description. So let's start by having a look at the materials that you need to build this thing. And as you can see, it's not really too bad. These are the things that you're going to need. Make sure your name tag has been named before you go there. That is important, and you will need that. Also, ender pearls are very important. You need to spawn in the endermite using ender pearls. If you spawn it with a spawn egg or by any other means, it won't work. It has to be ender pearls. These blocks here can be anything, as can these glass blocks. So they are to build the platform. I used the terracotta for the platform, so do make sure that whatever these blocks are, enderman can spawn on. As for these blocks here, they do not have to be things enderman can spawn on. They are for the tunnel that they're going to fall down, so they're purely decorational and slightly functional, but they do not need spawns. As for these blocks right here, slabs work really well, as does glass or leaves, because you want these blocks here to be things that enderman cannot spawn on. The torches are just to keep things lit up whilst you are doing the farm building, so you're not getting enderman spawning getting in the way. And the ladder is optional and something you will not necessarily need if you have an elytra and rockets, but if you don't, then you might want that. Now, of course, the ender pearls, this farm is going to get you a lot of those, but before that, you may not have loads, so I'm going to quickly show you a way that you can get some ender pearls in order to build this thing. Now, you may not need exactly 32, you basically just need as many until the endermite spawns, which is, of course, a chance, so we don't know exactly how long that's going to take. As for the hoppers and chests, this is the minimum that you need, but I recommend having more as you will get tons of ender pearls. You can also, though, have a void drop system hooked up to this, and this is all you will need for this. It's super easy to do, as well as some building blocks just to place so that you can place your redstone circuitry on top. So in terms of getting ender pearls that you'll need in order to make this farm, one of the best ways is to do what I've done here. Make a platform you can hide under. This is only too high, so enderman cannot get in. You can see these ones here are all angry at me, but they're not able to get in because I am protected. And then simply kill them. Obviously, if you have a looting 3 sword, that is going to be preferable. Some other things to note: you don't want to have fire aspect on your sword, because as they're burning, they'll teleport away, whereas at this rate, when we kill them, the drops will be nearby. So we can do that until no endermen are aggroed at us, and then we can go out and collect all the drops safely when they die. Once you have your ender pearls, the first thing to do is to grab your 3 stacks of slabs like this, and we're going to build off the island using them. First thing I'm going to do, though, is just quickly put all this stuff back into my ender chest and use that later on for the platform. So we're going to bridge off from here, and what we're going to do is build at this height. Now, this is important because you don't want mobs to be able to spawn on this platform that you're building off from. Now, the reason I say to take 3 stacks is to be far enough away from the end island that you'll get the best drop rates of enderman. So just make sure you build on top of this or on top of some other full blocks, so you know you're at the half block level and mobs definitely can't spawn here, and then keep building until you're out of slabs. Once you've built your platform out the 3 stacks of blocks, the first thing I would do if I were you is build a little platform out here that you're going to use to build on and travel to and from. So what we're going to do is have to jump whilst holding shift and place a block like this right on the edge there. So that's the best way to get your first block going. Then you can just shift and press blocks down as you normally would. Then what we're going to want to do pretty quickly is light this area up as well, and lighting it up will mean that no enderman will spawn here, because they do need a lower light level to spawn. So this platform can be as big or as small as you want it to be. Just give yourself enough space to work. If you are going to be traveling to and from this platform using an elytra as well, do make sure you make it big enough that you can land on here easily. So the first thing we're going to make is the area where we're going to collect the items from the enderman, obviously the ender pearls, and the same place that obviously we're going to kill them as well. Now, I said you only need 3 chests because you do, but for me, I'm going to use 3 double chests to have a little bit more space for storage. Then we simply want to come off to the edge here and shift and place hoppers going into them. So the enderman will be stood on top of the hoppers when they are killed later, and all their drops will easily go into the chest. The next thing we're going to do is build the kill chamber, where the enderman will fall down after they've spawned, get trapped, and where we can kill them and then obviously collect their drops from. So first thing you want to do is place some carpet over the top of your hoppers. This just means that any XP that falls will be a lot easier to get, because sometimes it can get stuck in the hoppers. And then we're going to place our glass blocks. Now I'm going to show you exactly where you need to place them to create the chamber, but just to say, from here, so this block right here, there's your hoppers, right, just right there. You need to place up 42 in total, just like this. So that's the height that we're going to go. The 43rd block is going to be made out of whatever you start to make your little platform up here out of. So in my case, we're using dark oak planks. Now, I'm saying this because there was some confusion in the last time I did this video, and I'm trying to make sure that doesn't happen again. So we're almost there at the top, placing placing the 43. Do take torches with you as well, and also you may need ladders if you are planning on not flying back down if you don't have an elytra, or if you just want ladder access, do consider bringing that with you. So we're going to place this up here like this. Now, what I would suggest in your world is that you do the first one just like I've done here as a bit of a marker as to how high you have to go. Then if you fly back down, if you do have an elytra, or if you use ladders, if that's the way you're doing things, what you can do is get the rest of your glass and simply build up until you hit the same height. So where we're going to place the glass is going to be around here like this, trapping the enderman in. We want to place some temporary blocks just here like this. So 2 high with those temporary blocks. On the third one, that's going to be glass as well, and then a glass there, and a glass there, and then we take these temporary blocks here out. And basically, the endermen are going to fall down. They're going to get stuck in here. Now, obviously, we can walk in and out. The endermen will not be able to because they are, of course, 3 blocks high, not 2. So that's why that gap there does not matter. And when we build this up a couple of blocks, you can see now how the chamber is starting to take place. They will fall down this 3 wide gap right here from up the top. So now you can simply place blocks like this as you go upwards until you reach the level that we were just at before, when you're going to then place the wood on the 43rd block. Once you've built up all of your glass towers and put a wooden block on top like I've done here, you'll have something that looks a little bit like this. And this bit here is I've just built a bit extra. So from this one here on top of the glass there, I've just built 2 out in each direction. I've placed this green glass here just as a little bit of a reference point for you guys. This is the block where you're going to need to get your endermite on. Okay, so basically this is my platform here. The mite wants to be the same side as this platform here where you're working and collecting the drops. The platform where the enderman spawn will be in the opposite direction. So we're going to get the mite stuck here using the materials I have on me. First thing we want to do is build up like this all around. So 2 high around this block right here, and again here, and again here. Then we just need to build a temporary block just outside here on this one, and again 2 high here. So now the endermite, once it's in here, will not be able to get out, basically. That's obviously very important. I'll light these up just to prevent any enderman from spawning, just in case. So we're going to place down our rail here like this. Now, what you need to have on you is some ender pearls. Now, this is all about chance, right? When we stand in there and throw the ender pearls, it just kind of depends how long it takes until the mite spawns. You also need to make sure you have a button here, or a, not a button, I should say a name tag, that is already named. You have to have it named previously and then name your endermite that way. Just to say, if you're playing in creative mode and you spawn in the endermite using spawn eggs rather than doing it through the ender pearl method, it is a different game mechanic and this will not work, guys. You have to use ender pearls to spawn it in. There is no other way of doing it, okay? That's really important. Okay, so with all of this set up, the final thing to say is armor. I would recommend a couple of things. First of all, feather falling, definitely be wearing that. It means you'll take less damage when you're throwing a lot of these ender pearls. The second thing is have lots of food because you're going to need it. You're going to get hungry doing this, and you want to make sure you don't die. The third thing is, if you have thorns armor, guys, you can see my leggings here have thorns on them, take it off, okay? If anything else has thorns, no, okay, we're good. Because when the endermite attacks you, those thorns are going to hurt it quite a lot, and you don't want this guy to die, because that would be quite upsetting. So now we're going to jump down in here, and at this stage, what you might want to do is just get your things organized. So you've got my ender pearls here, I've got my steak right next to it ready to eat, I've got my name tag there ready to go as well. We're going to need this redstone torch in just a second, but before we do anything, we're just going to place the minecart down there like that. And now, here we go, we're about to place this down. So we're going to throw some ender pearls, see how long it takes us until an endermite spawns. Again, this is pure chance. Now, if you start to glitch through the blocks, as I did just there, just press jump, you should be fine. You also shouldn't glitch too much. I recommend eating as soon as you get hungry. Don't wait until you're very hungry, because you just don't want to lose too much health doing this. The endermite will attack you as soon as it spawns. Okay, there he is. So now we want to place that there. We want to, oh my goodness, okay. I need to get out of here. Okay, all right. So I ender pearled out there very quickly. You'll see how much damage I took there immediately. It is difficult, guys, okay? Like, you can take a lot of damage. Okay, now that he's in here, we can actually get rid of this a second, and we can try and name this guy. So what I'm going to do is just grab my axe here and break this block right here. There we go. So let's try and name this dude. And it's not going to work because he's in the minecart. Okay, so this is a problem once he's in the minecart. You need to try and name him before he gets in there, right? So what we're going to do is we'll have to break the minecart for now to get him out, okay? So if I can just hit that, there we go. All right, so he's out of there. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is, let's see, we can name you. If we shift, we should be able to name you. There we go, okay, he is named. Okay, so we have him in there and we have him named, of course. So let's place the rail down there. Let's place the minecart down again. And it should be reasonably easy now, because once we start to power these rails, the minecart should move. Okay, we might have to jump down and do it. Get it moving, there we go, and then it's jump out quickly again. So this guy is a little bit of a pain. He will attack you. So you do definitely need to be careful. You can see how close I came to dying here. Okay, okay, he's done. So now we can underpower the rails, he's stuck in there, and we can move on with the next bit. So now we're going to get the Endermite into the exact correct position now that it's in its little minecart. So what I suggest you do is build a block around the back like this. Obviously, we need to get on top of the glass block, which is the next one just up there. So what we're going to do now is get some of these in our offhand, ready to place. We're going to get rid of this block right here, and we're going to keep pushing him. Now, he is going to hurt you, so be prepared to take some damage while you're doing this. It is a little bit finicky, this bit, but worth it in the long run. So hopefully, is that just about? We're almost there. We should be able to place our block down pretty soon. Here we go. Come on. There we go. So now he's nicely trapped in there. Now, if we get too close, he is still going to hit us, so still be careful with that. But he is now essentially in the right location. However, the orientation is a little bit off. I think we prefer to have it where the minecart is facing that way rather than currently it's facing this way. So what we can do for that is, if we just come out the side here, place a block there, destroy this block here, get the rail to connect up that way. There we go. And then we can destroy that again, place a block down here, and yeah, we're good to go. So that is essentially where the Endermite needs to be. That is its orientation. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you how to build the trapdoors around it. The next thing to do is get your trapdoors in the same orientation that I have here. And I'm going to spend a little second just showing you guys exactly what that orientation is. So we've got our minecart with the Endermite in it on top of the glass block, as we did before. What we've done then is gone 2 trapdoors off to the side, and then another 2 here like this. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, and 4, just like that. Those are the trapdoors on that side, identical on the right hand side as well. As you can see here, we have 3 trapdoors here that are all open, and they are on top of the glass block there and in this orientation compared to the minecart, so hopefully that makes sense. We've also got 3 on the other side here directly above this gap that the Endermen are going to fall into, so that's where the bottom ones go. What we're going to do then is build up, these are 2 blocks here, so this one in line with the minecart, and the second one is there. On top of those 2 blocks, we have a half slab like this, and I'm going to just quickly bridge up here and show you guys exactly how this looks. So there's the half slab, that one right there, the back one, this one, is where it is above the minecart, and then we have 1 in front, 1 to the left, and 1 to the right. We then have trapdoors here, so 1, 2, and 3 there. 1, 2, and 3 there, and of course 1, 2, and 3 there as well. Now, this orientation is incredibly important, the reason being it does 2 things. First of all, it allows the Enderman, which are going to be spawning out here in a second, to see the Endermite, think they can attack it, run at it, and then of course die. The second important thing that it does is it protects the Endermite. The Enderman will not be able to get to it and kill it, and so it is nice and safe in there and will be for eternity as long as you named it correctly, as I showed you before. Just one final little point for absolute clarity, guys. If I just show you behind here, we don't have any blocks here at all. That is important. If you have blocks behind here, then the Enderman could spawn on them, so do make sure you don't do that. If you were to have blocks behind here, Enderman will spawn, they will kill your Endermite, and the farm will not work. So just a small point, but I wanted to make double sure that it was included in the video so there were no mistakes to be made. So the next thing we're going to do is start building the platform. And just before I do that, I want to say that pretty quickly, once you start building the platform, Enderman will start spawning on it, and they will come over here. So definitely make sure your Endermite is safe. Also make sure you've got your collection system ready, because you're about to get a lot of Enderman, guys. Okay, so to build the platform, the first thing you want to do is take away this block right here and this block right here. Okay, and then the platform is going to start after that point. Now, in terms of what you can build out of, guys, it's kind of up to you. Just make sure that they're blocks that Enderman can spawn on. If in doubt, check on the Minecraft wiki and all that sort of stuff. But just don't build out of things like glass, leaves, or slabs at the incorrect level and that type of thing. So for me, I'm going to be building out of white and red terracotta. And I'm going to do a bit of a stripe pattern with these because that's how I like to do it. So what I'm going to do is just get rid of this row right here really quickly. And I'll show you guys. So what we're going to do is start here. So I'm going to go like red, white, red, just like this, white like this, red, and we're going to continue that pattern onwards. Now, in terms of how big to make this thing, it's kind of up to you. You can check on the wiki. I'm pretty sure it's 43 blocks that Enderman can see you from. So if that's the case, then the 43rd block, like out in this direction, would work. Maybe just in a little bit, because obviously it's got to see a couple in here. What I'm going to do, guys, and the drop rates you're going to see and stuff at the end of this video are going to be a 61 wide platform. So this is my very center block here, of course. I'm going to build 30 in that direction, 30 in that direction, and make a bit of a wing shape. So I'm going to go ahead and start on that right now, and then I'll show you guys once it's done, and we'll talk a little bit more about the platform at that point. So the platform has now been built, and we're going to go and have a look at that in just a second. As you can see, it's a bit of a wing shape there, and there are lots of Endermen falling. I was on level 9 when I was making this thing, and now I'm going up pretty quickly. As you guys saw at the start of this video, it is pretty insane. So that's awesome. We're also getting tons of ender pearls, obviously, as well, so that's very good. Let's have a little look at the platform. If we let's have have a little fly up here and I'll show you guys this. In terms of AFK, by the way, the wonderful thing about this farm, just AFK it from where I was stood before, down where you kill them. You just stand there. That's the place to AFK, and they'll spawn and they'll come, you know, in great numbers, as you can see. So in terms of the farm, as I said, with this being the center block, I went 30 in this direction right here, and then 30 in this direction right here. So it is 61 wide. If I go out to the extremities, I have made this thing symmetrical. What I've done here is this being block number 30, we've gone up 4 here, then in by 2, and we've done that several times up here, and then eventually went in by 3 and kind of bent it round a little bit as we got here. Now, I'm not giving you exact dimensions for the platform because it's really, like, it's not necessary. So long as, like, the extremities, when they're stood right at the edge here, they're 43 blocks or fewer away from the endermite, then you're fine. And honestly, like, just play around with it and build it however you like yourself and whatever you guys like the shape of, like the look of, and suits your purposes, basically. So, yeah, this is the platform done. That's the AFK spot covered. Let's have a look now at how we can turn a system down here on and off to shoot the ender pearls into the void once we start getting too many of those. So next we're going to look at the system that you can use to dispose of the ender pearls when you're done with them. Now the first thing we're going to want to do is get underneath this platform so we can do a bit of work here. So I suggest you use a bucket of water to go down like this, and then what we're going to do is just grab some blocks out of here to make a bit of a platform with, and we can just kind of go underneath like this. Now you do want to be careful, and having an elytra is definitely going to help you out here if you have one, yeah, you just place the blocks down like this, and we'll come down like more than we need, and then we can just make a bit of a platform like this. And then once you've got a bit of a platform made, you could always make, you know, ladders or something like that to get up and down once you've done that. The other option, of course, is if you know from the start this is what you're going to do and you're not comfortable with this method, you could always make this platform here and then make an identical platform above and put some stairs or ladders or something from the off, and then make this exact same system that I've showed you in the video, but make it higher so that this one is sort of already here, and essentially where we're building the platform underneath, this would become that platform. So the final thing to show you guys is the system we've got in place here for disposing of the ender pearls. So you can see here we get quite a few ender pearls. If I flick the lever here, then as you're hearing right now, it gets quite fast in terms of pulsing to turn the droppers on and shoot all of these into the void. Now it needs to be pretty fast because obviously we do get a lot of pearls, particularly when we're hitting the enderman and killing them. And I'll just show you underneath here what we've got. Obviously I'm going to clean this up, but just to show you, basically the lever that we just flicked powers this right here, and so this powers the hoppers and it will lock the hoppers, right? So we see here we got items in there. Actually that's not supposed to be there. Okay, that one's good, and that one right there. And when they're not locked and there's items going through into the droppers here, you can see this redstone clock that we've got here is a very, very quick redstone clock. And so that is then firing off on these droppers when we need to shoot the items out. So what I'm going to do is really quickly hop into spectator mode and show you guys a better look at this in case you want to build it yourselves. I've just put myself into spectator mode in order to better show you this redstone here that we've got. And this is basically how we're shooting the ender pearls down into the void. So we have this lever right here that I've just put next to these chests, and then underneath that connects to this redstone dust right here, which as you can see goes off this way and then powers these hoppers. So I'm just going to face this like this, you can see that. So essentially when we flick the lever there, we can change whether or not these hoppers are on or off. So when the hoppers are powered, no items will pass through them into the droppers, and at that point all the items will therefore stay in the chests. Obviously if they're off, then this changes and the items can go down and into the droppers there with no problems. Then around the back here we've got this thing running, which is a little redstone clock that I'm going to show you guys how to make in just a second. And basically this clock then goes down here and into the back of the 3 droppers just like this. The redstone dust comes down there, repeater in the middle, the 2 dust there. So I just wanted to show this very clearly in case this is something you want yourselves. So to make the super quick clock that I just showed you, here's how you do it. You need a redstone clock facing in one direction, one facing in the other direction, with 2 redstone dust here and 2 redstone dust here like this. Then what we need to do is place down a redstone torch and break it as instantly as we can. So like that, there we go. And if you get it just right, you'll see here this clock will pulse and is ready to go. So it's a super quick redstone clock, very useful for all different things in Minecraft, but particularly for the enderman drops, as you do get so many, to shoot those droppers off very quickly. So you'll see that I'm wearing now mostly iron armor, and that, guys, is because I died. I died in the void. I lost all my things, including 90 levels. I'm very sad. See my sad face? But for the purposes of this tutorial, it does do something. It allows me to test. I'm at level 0, as you can see. We're going to go over here in a second, and I'm actually going to time this. I'm going to time a few things for you guys to give you a bit of extra information. We're going to time how long it takes to get from level 0, like I am right now, all the way up to level 30. We're also going to time how long it takes to get from level 27 to level 30, and also how long it takes to get from level 0 right the way up to level 100, just to give you guys a bit of a gauge as to how quickly this thing works. So let me go and do that right now, and then we'll talk about the times that we achieved afterwards. So when trying to test the timings to see how long it took me to get from level 0 up to level 100 for you guys, and level 30 and stuff like that, I died again. Yeah, I'm so upset, guys. Twice I've died now. I was at level 84, I think, for this one. I lost 84 levels, lost all my stuff again. But, guys, such a huge shout out to Oppo, who brought me this survival kit right here to make up for all the things I lost. Look at all this stuff. We've got books, we've got tools. He's told me to keep up the good work, and he's also told me don't fall into the void. And so this is going here, because I keep forgetting. No, it's not. It's going there. If I keep forgetting it, if I keep it there, maybe I won't forget. Let's try and do that test again, guys. So I finally managed to test the speed of getting levels on this thing without dying. And the results are in. It took me, weirdly enough, exactly 1 minute to get from level 0 to level 30. It took me 8 seconds to get from level 27 to level 30. So if you're doing level 30 enchants down to level 27, about 8 seconds ago for that one. And it took me 23 minutes and 51 seconds to get from level 0 all the way up to level 100. Not bad at all, especially considering I'm on a server where the rates may be lower than if you're doing this in a single player world. So that is the times you can expect. That's the type of levels and rates you can expect from this thing. So there you have it, guys. A super fast Enderman farm that's going to get you tons of XP and tons of Ender Pearls. If you found this useful, if you liked it, please do like and subscribe. It is greatly appreciated. For this one though, guys, that's about it. So I just want to say thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. I wanted to end today's video with just another massive thank you to the 100 people who are now part of Tortuga. It is insane we have 100 people on there, and you're all awesome. I have much love for you all. Thank you all for being there. Guys, if you would like to join our server and play with us and record with us and that sort of thing, there'll be a link down in the description for those who are interested.